Catholicism is experiencing a quiet yet powerful resurgence around the world. In countries that were once seen as secular or dominated by other faiths, Catholicism is growing faster than ever. In 5 countries, Catholic churches are overflowing. Seminaries are filling, and young families are rediscovering a faith that speaks to the soul in uncertain times. The church is not just surviving, it's thriving. Mass attendance is rising. Conversions are increasing. Entire villages, cities, and even governments are being reshaped by this unexpected surge. A quiet revolution of faith is underway, and it's happening right now. Take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, stay connected because the movement of faith unfolding around the world is only just beginning. Number 1, South Korea. Imagine a country known for its K-pop stars and cutting-edge technology, a place where technology rules and spiritual life seems like an afterthought. But in South Korea, Catholicism is experiencing a powerful resurgence, and it's changing the face of the nation. Let's take a closer look at how this quiet spiritual revolution is taking place. South Korea, a country that was once considered a mission field, has undergone an incredible transformation in the last few decades. In the 1960s, Catholics made up barely 1% of the population. Fast forward to today, and that number has surged to over 11%. This is a remarkable increase, especially when you consider that South Korea is a highly modernized society. Despite the rapid pace of technological advancement and economic growth, South Korea has a deep spiritual undercurrent that is leading many to Catholicism. Catholicism in South Korea was not brought by foreign missionaries. Instead, it was introduced by Korean scholars who discovered Catholic texts from China. From the very beginning, Catholicism demanded courage, as many early Korean Catholics were martyred for their faith. This legacy of bravery still resonates in the lives of modern South Korean Catholics. What makes Catholicism in South Korea unique is how it has become a countercultural movement. In a society where performance, efficiency, and conformity are valued above all else, many are turning to Catholicism as a place to find peace and stillness. The Church offers a refuge where worth is not measured by success, but by one's inherent dignity as a child of God. The Church isn't just growing, it's becoming a central part of people's daily lives. In South Korea's largest cities like Seoul and Busan, Catholic churches are overflowing on Sundays. Young people are regularly attending weekday masses and Eucharistic adoration. Sacramental life is thriving, and confession lines stretch long during Holy Week. Weddings in the church are increasingly seen as a sign of deep commitment to faith, not just a social tradition. Religious orders, including communities of priests and sisters, are flourishing. And seminaries are filling up with young people eager to dedicate their lives to serving God. The Catholic Church is also making an impact outside the walls of the church. Catholic universities like the Catholic University of Korea and St. Mary's Hospital are playing key roles in education and healthcare, providing intellectual and medical care to the nation. The church is not just a place of worship, but an active force in shaping the society around it. One of the most significant symbols of Catholicism in South Korea is the Jeoldushan Martyr Shrine. Located along the Han River, this shrine marks the site where many early Catholics were executed. For their faith, it's not just a historical monument, but a living testament to the courage of the early Korean Catholics. Pilgrims come from all over the country to visit the shrine, and it's a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made by those who came before. South Korea's Catholic growth is not limited to just receiving missionaries. Today, South Korean priests and sisters are serving in Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. The once mission-receiving country has become a mission-sending country. With Koreans bringing their faith to places around the world, Catholicism in South Korea has experienced rapid growth, but it's more than just numbers. It's about a deep cultural transformation, one that is redefining what it means to live a meaningful life in a fast-paced modern world. This is a story of faith's resilience and its ability to thrive in unexpected places. And the story is far from over. Number 2, Nigeria. If there is a place where Catholicism pulses with raw power and unshakable devotion, it is Nigeria. The beating heart of African Catholicism, In this West African nation of over 200 million people, the church is not just growing, it is surging forward with a fire that refuses to be extinguished. Back in 1980, Nigeria was home to approximately 9 million Catholics. Today, that number has more than tripled, reaching over 32 million. The momentum hasn't slowed. Every projection points to an even faster rise in the years ahead. Vocations flourish and parishes overflow. What makes this growth remarkable is not just the numbers, it is the context in which it's unfolding. Nigeria faces immense challenges. It's violent insurgencies in the north, deep economic inequalities, waves of targeted persecution against Christians, particularly in rural areas. Yet, it is precisely in this crucible of hardship that the faith is being refined, not weakened. Mass attendance in Nigeria is among the highest in the Catholic world. Packed churches every Sunday, an liturgical life that resonates with joy, reverence, and resilience. In the very regions most afflicted by violence, the faithful continue to gather for the Eucharist with steadfast courage, often at great personal risk. Nigerian seminaries are operating beyond capacity, filled with young men discerning the priesthood, not as a career option, but as a sacred calling. These future priests are not only serving local communities, many are now being sent abroad to revive parishes in Europe and North America, where vocations have dwindled. From Milan to Minneapolis, the Nigerian presence in the priesthood is no longer rare, it is vital. Behind this wave of vocations stands a church that has held fast through decades of adversity, sustained by families, religious communities, and bishops who lead with clarity and conviction. Among the most dynamic forces in Nigerian Catholic life today is the flourishing of youth ministries and Marian devotion. In cities like Lagos, Onitsha, and Enugu, young Catholics are organizing large-scale rosary rallies, praise nights, and retreats. The presence of Mary is tangible in processions, shrines, and homes. It reveals a deep maternal connection between the faithful and the Queen of Heaven. Equally powerful is the growth of the Catholic charismatic renewal, a movement that has swept across diocese with stunning vitality. Healing services, Eucharistic adoration, and spirit-led preaching have drawn crowds in the tens of thousands. Parishes routinely host overnight vigils filled with song, prayer, and the laying on of hands. In places where political systems have failed to deliver hope, the church has become a place of transformation. A place where broken hearts are restored and spiritual authority is reclaimed. Through every hardship and every persecution, the church in Nigeria has only grown stronger. In the north, where Christians often face attacks from extremist groups, martyrs are not remembered in silence. They are celebrated in liturgy's artwork and testimony. Their names are spoken in homilies. Their example shapes the faith of the next generation. The blood of martyrs continues to water the soil of Nigerian Catholicism, not as a metaphor, but as lived history. The story of Catholicism in Nigeria is not one of passive survival. It is a story of bold witness, tireless evangelization, and a people who carry the gospel not in theory, but in every fiber of their being. From rural villages to sprawling urban centers, the church is alive, radiant with song, saturated with prayer and marching forward undeterred. Number 3. India, a land of ancient traditions and deep spiritual roots. Might not be the first place you think of when you imagine Catholicism thriving. But the story of Catholicism in India is one of deep transformation, one that is reshaping the spiritual landscape in surprising ways. Let's dive into how the Catholic faith is growing in this vibrant and diverse country. India is home to over 20 million Catholics, making it one of the largest Catholic populations in Asia. Catholicism has a long history in India. Dating back to the arrival of St. Thomas the Apostle in the 1st century, the faith took root early, in coastal communities, and it has endured for nearly 2,000 years. Despite the dominance of Hinduism and the rise of religious nationalism in recent years, Catholicism continues to grow and adapt to the changing social and political landscape. One of the most striking aspects of Catholicism in India is its commitment to service. The Catholic Church has been at the forefront of providing education, healthcare, and social services to the poor and marginalized. Catholic hospitals, orphanages, and schools are scattered across the country, offering essential services in areas where the government often falls short. In India, Catholicism offers a radical message of equality. For centuries, lower caste people were denied dignity and status in society. But Catholicism teaches that all people are equal in the eyes of God, regardless of their social standing. This message has resonated deeply with India's marginalized communities, who see in the Church a place where their worth is affirmed, not based on birth, but on their inherent dignity as children of God. The Catholic presence in India is particularly strong in the southern states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, where the faith is deeply embedded in the culture. But the Church is also growing in the northeast, where tribal communities are embracing Catholicism as a source of hope and transformation. However, Catholicism in India faces challenges. Anti-Christian sentiment is on the rise in many parts of the country, and there have been instances of attacks on churches and clergy, but the Church has endured by adapting rather than confronting. In rural areas, home churches continue to meet in secret. Catechism classes are held in whispers, and Eucharistic adoration takes place behind closed doors. The faith is alive and growing, even if it isn't always visible. Catholicism in India isn't just about survival. It's about thriving through service, resilience, and a deep commitment to the marginalized. From the slums of Calcutta to the mountains of Nagaland, the Church is continuing its mission of spreading the gospel, one act of love and service at a time. Number 4, the Philippines. In the Philippines, where around 80% of the population identifies as Catholic, one might think the faith has settled into a predictable rhythm of tradition. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary is happening. Catholicism is not merely enduring. It's being reborn with a new intensity driven by youth movements, vibrant media outreach, and a deepening thirst for spiritual encounter. The result is a nationwide revival that blends ancient devotion with modern energy, pushing the Church into bold, transformative territory. For decades, Catholicism in the Philippines was rooted in cultural identity, passed from parent to child. Embedded in festivals and visible in every city's skyline, crowned with church towers. But today, a growing number of Filipinos are embracing the faith not just out of habit, but with personal conviction. Movements like Youth for Christ and the Catholic Charismatic Renewal are drawing tens of thousands, particularly among the young, into dynamic communities of prayer, formation, and evangelization. In these groups, Catholicism comes alive, no longer just inherited but chosen. This shift is visible in public expressions of faith. The translation of the Black Nazarene gathers over 6 million barefoot pilgrims in a single day, an act of devotion that borders on the miraculous in both scale and intensity. Marian pilgrimages to Antipolo and Samala attract crowds that stretch for miles with candles and chants filling streets for hours. These aren't empty rituals, they're acts of deep reverence, revealing a church that still captivates hearts and commands sacrifice. When the pandemic forced churches to close, many feared a decline in religious practice. But in the Philippines, it had the opposite effect. Online masses exploded in viewership with millions tuning in from home. Rosary groups formed through Facebook Bible studies moved to Zoom. Instead of fading, faith adapted and even expanded. The longing for the sacraments and sacred connection remained powerful, even without pews or processions. That hunger proved that the faith had roots much deeper than just Sunday attendance. Meanwhile, Catholic media has surged. YouTube channels dedicated to the Rosary, Catholic preaching, theological formation, have gained hundreds of thousands of followers. Television and radio stations like TV Maria and Radio Veritas have expanded their reach. Catholic influencers, priests, nuns, and laypeople alike are helping to catechize a new generation, one Instagram story and podcast at a time. In a media landscape often dominated by secular voices, the Church in the Philippines has found a digital voice that resonates far and wide. Education is also fueling this revival. Parishes and dioceses are investing in catechesis, not only for children, but for adults long disconnected from the foundations of their faith. Catechists, many of them lay volunteers, are retraining communities, deepening understanding of the sacraments, scripture, and doctrine. This is no longer a church. That assumes knowledge. It is one that teaches it daily in every corner of the country. And this growth is not limited to within national borders. The Philippines has become one of the largest sources of Catholic missionaries in the world. Filipino priests now serve in over 60 countries. Lay missionaries, nurses, and domestic workers carry the faith with them into hospitals, homes, and remote parishes across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. In many places where the church is declining, Filipino communities are keeping it alive, bringing music, devotion, and joyful witness wherever they go. What's unfolding in the Philippines is not just a continuation of Catholic identity, a revival marked by intensity, creativity, and resilience. In every province, every city, from basilas to barrios, the church is growing not only in numbers, but in purpose. Catholicism here is not being preserved in glass. It is burning with life. Number 5, Democratic Republic of Congo (DRC) is a country plagued by political instability, violence, and poverty. Yet, amidst these challenges, Catholicism is not just surviving, it's thriving. In fact, the DRC has become one of the largest Catholic nations in the world. How is this possible? Let's explore the incredible story of how faith is flourishing in one of the most difficult places on earth, the DRC. The population of over 100 million has witnessed a remarkable growth. In its Catholic population, back in 1960, there were only 7 million Catholics in the country. Today, that number has skyrocketed to more than 50 million, making the DRC one of the largest Catholic nations in the world. Its rapid growth is extraordinary, especially considering the political instability, violence, and poverty that have plagued the country for decades. So, how has Catholicism managed to grow in such a challenging environment? The answer lies in the deep faith and resilience of the people. In a country where government institutions often fail to provide basic services, the Catholic Church has stepped in to fill the gap. Catholic schools continue to educate children, Catholic clinics offer health care to the sick, and Catholic orphanages provide care for vulnerable children. These institutions are not just surviving, they're thriving, becoming the backbone of society in many parts of the DRC. The Church's influence extends beyond social services. Catholic bishops in the DRC have become vocal advocates for justice and peace, courageously speaking out against corruption, violence, and human rights abuses. In many regions, the Catholic Church is the moral compass of the nation, offering a vision of hope and justice in the midst of political turmoil. Vocations are booming in the DRC, while many countries around the world are seeing a decline in interest in religious life. The DRC is bucking the trend. Seminaries are overflowing, and new religious orders are springing up. Many of these seminarians are being sent abroad to help revive Catholic communities in Europe and the Americas, where vocations have declined. One of the most powerful symbols of the Church's presence in the DRC is its role in promoting peace and reconciliation. Despite the ongoing violence and instability, the Church has been a constant source of hope for millions of Congolese. Catholic leaders have called for peace, justice, and an end to violence, often at great personal risk. The Church's message of love, forgiveness, reconciliation has become a beacon of light in a country torn apart by conflict. Catholicism in the DRC is also growing through grassroots efforts. The Church is deeply involved in local communities, providing spiritual guidance, education, and social services to those in need. The faith is alive in the hearts of the people, and it's growing rapidly as more and more Congolese embrace Catholicism as a source of hope and strength during their struggles. In a country where so much is broken, Catholicism in the DRC stands as a testament to the power of faith to heal, transform, and rebuild. The growth of Catholicism here isn't just a story of survival. It's a story of how faith can flourish even in the most challenging circumstances. The DRC's Catholic Church is a beacon of hope, shining brightly in a dark world. And its story is one of resilience, hope, and spiritual transformation, as you've seen. Catholicism is experiencing a powerful and unexpected revival in countries across the globe. From South Korea to the DRC, faith is thriving, growing, and reshaping communities in ways we never expected. The church is not just surviving, it's thriving, even in the face of adversity. If this video opened your eyes to the incredible growth of Catholicism around the world, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. We want to hear from you. Which country's Catholic revival surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Stay strong, stay faithful, and we'll see you in the next video.